Hello Pisces, and welcome to your Astroflower reading. This is going to be a reading for the week of 13th through to the 20th of February. It's going to be in two parts. We're going to be combining the first part with the Astroflower and reading and interpreting the cards through the elements on your flower. If you want to know where you can get a copy of that, there should be a link in the descriptive below. So this is coming up for this coming week for you, Pisces. This is just before your season, so you should have a lot of stuff going on the spiritual front, and already we can see that. On the spiritual front, it's a case of this is what you should be really working out at the moment. Sort of what you want to do after your birthday, and that sort of in respect to the emotions and stuff like that. And you know what sort of experience you want to do next year, and as you do sort of work those things out, then you can sort of set them off in motion from your birthday onwards. Let me just get a bit of space here for everything, and it's already looking that way inclined. It's got to be said. Nice cards though, all the same. Really quite nice cards, and yeah. And with the Page of Cups in the middle. So, as I said, you're into this last month before your birthday. So basically, your concentration might be onto what you've been doing over the past year, according to your spirit, according to your emotions, that sort of thing. You should have really worked out what physically you want to do. So what sort of, if you want any changes in your job, start a business, or changes in your business, or buy a new home, all to concern with the material side of life. So, and we can see there's definitely two sides to the story going on here already. This is petal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so this is, if you see on your Astroflower, down in this bottom left, you've got a mixture between water and fire, naturally within yourselves, mutable of course. And this might be sort of saying the universe is now sort of saying, through that sort of questioning of what you might have been doing over the last sort of 2 weeks of where am I going, what am I doing, another year coming up. Apparently you're doing that work well. And I did remember your reading from last time, and it was really good for your time of year. This seems to be confirming that this week as well. So you seem to have gone down a journey, and that's what I'll get it out in a minute, the Hermit's all about. So you've gone up that winding road, which is a winding road to understanding, and through that winding road of understanding, you arrive at the top of the mountain where you can see clearly. I'm surprised the King of Swords didn't come out, so where you can see clearly. And you can understand your passage of what you've done in order to get there. And then when you get there, you can then start expressing it. So it's coming through. The universe is trying to encourage that expression of your emotions, of your coming journey. Because on your karmic path, you have as well the World card. Now, the World card is... so obviously, your karmic path this week is to really start looking at that side of life and experiencing it, integrating it within you as a person to the sort of year you want to live emotionally and spiritually, all of those aspects of it. So you can start to sort of almost tangibly feel that within yourself this month, or certainly with this week. It's sort of there seems to be a click moment for you guys, and it's obviously coming up to Pisces season on I think it's on the 20th or the 19th, so this is coming up this week. So this is the start of that journey. It's going to be the closing off of cycles and starting of a new cycle. So you're just moving into it. The cards are really playing into it, and this is what we go into the Astroflower, into the human rhythms, which is the 3 months of prior to your birthday is equivalent of your autumns, and then you've got the 9-month period, which is according to the human, like the gestation period and stuff like that. So there's a prior and there's a afterwards. It's a real crossing over point where one mirrors the other. And that's what you're going through now. It's the renewal of that cycle, which we have every year within our birthday. So the universe is encouraging you to really sort of not compact it, but certainly to integrate it within you as a being, so then you can express it clearly within your life, your emotions and stuff like that. Because above that, you've got the card, and this comes from, I hope that's focusing, this comes from your guides. So this is how your guides is combining with the universe in order to create that sort of sense of well-being, or sense of direction in your life in accordance to emotions and spirit and stuff like that. And you should be getting more and more assurance within that, because you wanna jump the gun, don't you? That's what it seems like. And Pisces, you're so quick. That's the thing with Pisces. You know, I don't know if you've ever been fishing or anything like that, but when with Pisces with fish, you know, they're scared of shadows that go across them, and they'll. And Pisces seem to be that sort of. It's like that. That Alpha and the Omega. It is the well card. It is that snake that's going from head to tail and it's eating itself. And you know, and they tend to be. You know, Pisces tend to be really affected by birth and death. Real cyclical sort of sign, you know, and it's like you're ready to go. It's like spring's here, but it's not. So patience. I'm surprised the temperance hasn't come out. It might come out in the clarification in the second video, but we'll see this how it sort of pans out according to the Astroflower. So this is it. You've got the Knight of Swords afterwards, and that's where your guides are sort of. They are getting a little bit. You can probably feel it within inside you in the conversation. It's going a bit quicker. You want it to move on. And if you're patient and with that Emperor, you know, and sitting within your power, you are going to be having, by the end of the week, you're going to have it looks like it's going to culminate very nicely. And obviously that's the start of your season. So we'll be moving into elements that are very much more sort of familiar to you, according to the Astroflower. So let's, so on the spiritual path, it's more than anything else sort of consolidating or clarifying those emotions and that sort of, I want to do this, or that wish list, that desire for the coming year, yeah? And that's a good thing to put into place. And then when you start your year, you're off and running. Now, the physical aspect of that should be done the month earlier, so 2 months before your birthday. And your karmic path seems to be, and I think I've noticed this on your last readings as well, is that Three of Cups. And it might well be where you having a passion, this may not pay for everyone, but it's having a passion to get involved into community. And that could be sort of like through an association, this could be through your neighborhood, through your family. It could also just be directly through a work. So it could be taking on a particular type of job that is involved in getting involved in the community and stuff like that. You haven't, because your birthday's not here. The thing is with Pisces, and this is what's coming in from the universe. So the universe is sort of got the Nine of Swords and stuff like that. And it's obviously not the best card in the pack. But at the same time, because it's coming in from the universe in petal 1, and over here you have the water and air that goes around it, it's saying to you, do you emotionally and mentally sit well with the path you're leading? And apparently it's still causing you a little bit of trouble. And the universe is sort of saying, I think, because looking at the rest of your cards, I think the universe is more sort of trying to encourage you to not worry about it, to take away those worries so you sleep well and etc. You look after your body physically and etc. And you can tell this because above that, your guides are trying to give you that intuition, that clarity of inner vision, that knowledge of, sorry, I may not see that, knowledge of who you are, and that knowledge of how you can place yourself in society on the material front. So they're encouraging you to, certainly to connect with your karmic path with this and trust in it more than anything else. That's the thing when you feel things. When we feel things, it's tangible. So we feel emotions and etc. But when we think things, it's not tangible. It rests in the imagination or the dreams or the possibilities. And it's like now that emotionally that should be settled on this side, it's starting to settle down. The physical is ready to kick in as soon as your birthday hits your day. You're gonna be moving on. And it seems to be pretty clear about you. I think it's the weight and the anticipation that might be causing you more sort of worry than anything else. On the physical front, it is good. It might be for other people. You might, the fact that you bought a house or something like that, and you're worried about, it might be your first purchase, or it might be a move up. So you've got to worry about. You might be worried about, making the payments and stuff like that, and making sure everything's going well in life. And I think these are really unfounded, to be honest. And I think the universe is sort of trying to say that, sort of don't get caught up in sleepless nights and worrying too much, because your guides are telling you, you've got this. You know this. You've got that regulation. You physically, you know what you want to do, or how you'd like things to be. And, that's the difference between that and that card there. On the Hermit, you've got that snaking pathway, and that's the learning process. And once you're going through that learning process and you're going through it on the spiritual side, you should have your path directly straight up, and you should know. So then there you move up to the star. I don't know if you can see that on that. Yeah? And he's laughing his head off. Why? Because he's sure about who he is and what he's doing. It's not gender specific, obviously, but, you should realize that what you're doing is good for you. Physically as well, not just emotionally, but very physically as well. And this you seem to be setting up, and this is why I said the reading from the week before, if you want to see it, you can go back into our videos and see it, but from the week before, you seem to be set up in a position where you will get success this year. It seems to be teed up that way. What is running through you at the moment, so the physical side is being another game of patience here. But it's coming from the other end. It's coming from the beginning, from the grassroots. What you've got running through you here is the Seven of Cups. Now, Seven of Cups is a daydream sort of state, believing miracles can happen and stuff like that, and they sure can. But I think it's more a case that there's an anticipation, a bubble within you. It's like before you start a show, if you do acting or stuff like that, or just before you start painting. It's that anticipation of what's going to happen. And that's what it's like champagne blowing through you at the moment. So if we just sort of like see what's going on in the way of sort of elements for you, certainly these two here, I think, is the biggest two cards. But it could, these three cards here, because you've got, on all three cards, you've got fire, water and fire, water and fire, water and fire. Mutable, fixed, cardinal within your sign. Yeah. So on this side, it's a case of when you get involved in the community, it's that start of that new journey, that spiritual start. And I think it's the physical side that's going to give you the heads up, because you've got cardinal that's going up through you like that. You are a pure water sign, so everything is highly emotional for a Pisces. It makes them that such, shiny, happy people that they are. And obviously emotions can be very trying at times. Over the past week, we've had, a lot of filament energies, which is water energy. So if that's, I've been talking about that on Cymatic TV. If you go and have a look for that, you can go and see our energy updates. And that's been coming through this week. So it's going to be stimulating a lot of your outside, making you feel good emotionally and ready to go on on the journey and start that new cycle again. But you've also got it running through you in the center of you. Yeah. And if that happens again next week, it's going to reiterate these three things. It's going to make your karmic path a lot more evident to you. It's going to be stark, bleeding obvious in your face. And it's a lot of these other cards are sort of holding cards, as if to say, you know, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. But by the end of the week, you might see results. You might see good successes coming in for you. And they're going to be coming in quickly by the looks of things, certainly emotionally. And that's because that's your positioning and ready to exchange and express your side of things. We've also had some corona holes, so that's that Earth which comes in, which comes above between the Emperor and the Knight of Swords, and between the High Priestess and the Hierophant. So you've got the two things of understanding and knowledge on that sort of side. Really, it's the mastery of sort of things. But a lot more intuition there, and that's through the hard grafting of knowledge. So you've got both sides to be really successful here. And that side there, you've got that cardinal Earth. So it's going to be pushing out of you already, almost. That's how you feel about life. It's if you've got a job to get, or if you've got your business to start, you're going to be wanting to push it. You're going to be putting it out there in the world so the world can see it. And between this section here, you've got that crossing of air and fire. So the cardinal fire is coming through you, out through you like that, which is coming from Aries. And that comes right in from this petal and almost cuts these petals here, the outside petals, 4, 7, 9, and 10, away from the rest. It's almost as if the rest of your flower is being concentrated on filtering those emotions of what you want to experience next year. And that means looking at what's been going on for the last year. And you're going to have a nostalgic moments and stuff like that. So you've got that cardinal, that fire that from Aries that comes sweeping up through you, which makes you a lot more sort of champagne-y and bubbly, which we can see in the Page of Cups. Coming up for the coming week, looking at the sun, I think there's going to be more filament eruptions, but there also risks to have sort of more flares going on. So that's also going to be, flares are going to be pushing that side, that cardinal energy of fire that comes through you a lot more. But it's also with that filament energy going to be consolidating that water. And that's good for your karmic path here for starting a new journey, because it's going to be that fixed water that comes through the earth with the fixed fire, so it would be constant, passionate and emotional situations that you can be quite frank with yourself. And this is brilliant for you, Pisces, at this time of year. It's another good reading. You're obviously doing some really good work at the moment on yourselves. For those of you who are having difficulty with life, it's maybe because you're concentrating a little bit too much on the outside world. Don't look around you, look inside. That's what the Hermit's all about. And if you start from looking inside, you will get a lot more out of life. So stop looking outside, start looking inside. You've still got time before your birthday, and you can set yourself up with simple things, a simple bucket list, and you can really get it. It'll be really nice. So so for next week, look out for filament energies and also those solar flares. If we do get coronal holes, it's only going to make compact your spiritual sort of side and make it very concrete within your ideas, but it's also going to help you grow and start pushing the material side. There isn't going to be there might not be a lot of cosmic rays, then therefore the air that's coming through here, which is mutable, so it's a little bit floating petal 4, and I don't think that's going to be triggered too much mentally for you. And it's, on that side as well, with the fixed air that comes through there. So I think it's going to be mainly a week of filament energies and solar flares, but we will see. See that on Cymatic TV, there'll be regular reports on that. So that's been part 1 of your reading. Part 2 will be coming up. You'll see the link in the comments below. If I don't see you there, don't forget, Pisces, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.